Welcome Sergito to the YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to be basically conducting an interview, just getting to know you. I know you're a little bit of a prominent figure in the Nifty Gateway community. For those who don't know, Sergito is a former Discord moderator in the Nifty Gateway community and is an avid NFT collector. So welcome and thank you for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people just want to hear about your opinions on Nifty Gateway, the NFT community at large, and the future of NFTs and what that looks like for us collectors. So let's just hop right into it and talk about your background in NFTs, just so people have a little bit of a background of who you are and how you even got to find out about NFTs and your first big purchases in the space.
Sure. So my professional background led me to crypto during the market crisis in March of 2020, and I started just accumulating Ethereum and Bitcoin. And through that process, I started exploring the ecosystem, and it wasn't until the beginning of this year that I stumbled upon NFTs and what they were. It took me a little bit to understand them and to wrap my head around it, but I was very, very lucky that I found myself in the Cryptopunk Discord channel and found a great community. It was very, very helpful in letting me learn from them, and so I got lucky and I purchased my first Cryptopunk on February 12th. Bought the Cryptopunk, found my way into the Nifty Gateway channel, also on Discord, and started just asking questions, meeting people. Again, I found a very engaged community. And so one thing led to the next. I started buying NFTs on Nifty, and here we are now.
So tell us about how you've purchased your first Cryptopunk.
First Cryptopunk, so it's funny because my Ethereum is all locked up in a certain exchange that won't be named. So I only had a little bit left on an external wallet that I had, and I got lucky that the floor for punks was 6 ETH at the time, and I had 6 ETH on me. So I literally just bought what I could afford and just to get it in the wallet. And over the next month and a half, it quadrupled.
Yeah, I know. They're sitting at 27, 30 ETH now.
Well, they topped out around 25 ETH on the floor. ETH. Now they're back to 22. Yeah.
Yeah. So on Nifty Gateway, what kind of was your first purchases on there? And what was your, I know they're not, I think back then they were pretty cheap. So I guess you were just kind of buying and testing the waters. What was kind of your first experience on Nifty Gateway?
Right. So I stumbled to Nifty Gateway because, as I said, I ran out of ETH. It's all locked up, and on Nifty Gateway you can use credit cards, and it was a good way for me to kind of buy crypto exposure through NFTs with credit cards, and that's why I started looking around the marketplace. I mean, obviously the site kind of still needs a little bit of work, which makes it exciting because it's like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah. You
really go and you say, okay, well, let me look at previous artists, previous drops, and just one thing led to the next. Ask questions, started buying things, and as you all know, it's super addicting.
Yeah, no, it really is addicting. It's just, especially since it's credit cards, you can really just rack up a lot of credit card spend very, very fast.
Yeah, so Amex points, I just see it as I'm building up my miles for when the world reopens and we can go travel somewhere.
Yeah, that's definitely a good use case for it. Back in the day, when we first both joined Nifty Gateway, we kind of joined it at around probably the same time, which was early middle of February of 2021. And pretty much everything that we would buy just doubled basically day after day, because back then there was probably only 500 collectors essentially on the site pretty much purchasing multiple pieces. Now, I don't know how many would you say?
Well, there's 15,000 people in the Discord, and back then it was probably less than 5,000.
In the Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if there's 15,000 in Discord, just think about how many people just aren't on the Discord, but also use Nifty Gateway.
It's gotta be 100,000 people.
Yeah. So back then, as the prices for pieces were $50, $150, I remember looking at pieces like Lotus Train at $2,000, and I was like, nah, there's no way, it's not worth it. And yeah.
Lotus Train, we'll talk about it later, but Lotus Train, I mean, I like that mouse, and so I love the art too. So I was like, okay, let me buy this, and I saw $2,500, and I thought, what? No, I like this, but this is way too much.
Over time, it kind of doubled and doubled after every day, basically, for the first 2 weeks. But it's really not like that anymore in today's space, which is March, as of the time of this interview is March 21st. So what is kind of your current strategy right now for navigating Nifty Gateway and figuring out which pieces you collect?
All right, so I've always been a collector. And of course, I've sold some of my pieces. I like selling some of my pieces in the secondary market when they reach certain appreciation, because specifically for artists with low mints on older editions, secondary trades gets them paid. And I really want artists to continue getting paid. I think, it's one of the biggest things with NFTs is that artists keep a claim on future earnings on their artwork. It's revolutionary. I love that. I love that aspect of it. So yeah, I sell some pieces, but the majority of my stuff, as you can see from my wallet, is for me to keep and to pass on to my children and my grandchildren. My strategy is first and foremost find stuff that speaks to me. There's obviously categories of artists. There's blue chips, and then there's up and coming, and then there's different things. I just really went through the marketplace, started clicking around and seeing, okay, like this piece really speaks to me. So you look at the pieces and then you do your research on the artist. What's the background? You look at the social media. Where are they from? Another big thing with NFTs is that, and obviously decentralization of blockchain and crypto, is that it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter your skin color, where you grew up, where you went to school. I love that. I'm Mexican. All of us in the world have experienced some sort of maybe discrimination or whatever. It doesn't really happen in crypto. It doesn't happen in Nifties. You can be anywhere. And I love creating that. So I love sponsoring that. I love being a part of that. And therefore, I look at different artists and I see what they stand for. And those that speak to me, I choose to support.
How many NFTs in your Nifty Gateway wallet do you have right now?
Right now, I think it's 95.
Almost 100, right?
I have a few that are off Nifty Gateway. Some that I'm for sure never ever selling, so I just took them out. But most of them are there because I like to display them too. So that's the best way to do it for now.
So what do you think about the future of the Nifty Gateway markets? A lot of people, every time you hop into the Discord, every time you hop into Twitter, someone's always saying oh, NFTs are in a bubble, NFTs are in the bubble. But what do you think about specifically, I guess, the Nifty Gateway market? Is there room to grow? How do you think about that?
Well, as you said, I have 95 pieces on there and I'm looking to add some more. We saw a big whale today at $2 million within 5 minutes. I think we're very early stages. I think, yes, there will be pieces and artists that will go through the natural cycle of boom and bust. But, I'm super bullish NFTs. I'm super bullish Nifty Gateway. I think they're a great platform. They're breaking a lot because they're growing so fast. Do I want to be a part of something that has experienced such high growth that it's hard to keep up? Yes, I do.
You showed me this actually this morning. Lush Sucks tweeted this. And it kind of hints at some sort of thing with tapes like that. I think tapes is a really cool piece. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I think, as the space evolves, there's some artists that have been just really quick on understanding what the value proposition is, not just for them, but for the collectors. So obviously I love Matt Dot Jones. I mean, I'm wearing his collaboration hoodie with Dead Mouse. And so it's very, very creative. I think, he, with Burning Thoughts and Ideas to collect one of the one-on-ones in the Crash and Burn drop, opened the eyes to a lot of people that, you continue to add value if you lower kind of the existing supply of the artwork. I think it's going to continue to happen in different ways with different artists. I know of different creators that have reached out actually asking for ideas as how to best do it. It's also hard for artists to say, hey, go burn my work. Because every piece of artwork, it's a little bit of them in it, right? So, but finding the right mechanics with incentives, you got Blau and Slime Sunday hinting at future, perks for holders of faces. You've got the base jackers, same thing, going in the Discord chat saying, hey, if you own the different pieces from our drop, you will have potentially benefits in the future when live shows come back. So yeah, I think it makes all the sense in the world, and I think the marketplace rewards those artists that are being proactive in doing stuff like that.
So on the subject of tweets, I noticed on your Twitter you actually had quite a few fire tweets that I just wanted to touch on. The first one I'm looking at is NFTs equals tokenized tribalism. So I'm going to be displaying this tweet on the screen. Would you want to kind of just explain to everyone what that means and what you meant by this tweet?
Sure. So what is tribalism, right? It's one of the purest forms of human nature where people who think alike, who are from the same place, kind of bond together to look out for each other. And that's what's happening in the NFT space. And you see it in the chat, you see it with creators, right? People are 333 army, and we're Team Slime Sunday, or Team Cats, exactly. So NFTs allow you to buy into that, right? You can buy just a small piece of the whole and be part of it. And people are seeking to be part of that. Obviously, we're all sitting behind our computers all over the world, but you can be part of different tribes. And there's never been technology before that allows to do that. So I love that. I think it's great. I think it's, the creators, the platforms, and the collectors who understand this will really be able to monetize it. And if you look at history, right, any technology that really appeals to purest forms of human nature, they're the ones that win. So you look at voyeurism, you look at, even things like lust. So tribalism is up there, and NFTs completely empower it. That's why I really like them. Right.
It's honestly really fun, and if there's anything to take away and to experience in this community, it's honestly, besides all the speculation and bubbles talk and market talk, whatever, like, it's fun. Like, it's literally just the most fun I've had in, I think, all in the past year.
And it's great people.
Great
people. It
people.
is really great people. I think, I speak to you now in person, and I know you now. But some of the people I speak most throughout the day are just anonymous people on Discord that I don't really know if their names are what they say their names are. But again, it doesn't really matter because, on this space, you get recognized for who you really are, for what you put forward into the community, for the kind of value add that you bring onto the ecosystem. And that just transcends borders, ideologies, and everything. And that's amazing.
So another tweet you had was, for any NFT project, the Discord channel is the storefront and the website is the menu. What does this mean?
Right. So if you think about the ecosystem, right? Let's talk about Nifty Gateway, for example. Where are we all hanging out? All collectors and artists and even the flippers and the bots. We're all in the Discord channel. Like, that's where everything happens. That's where all the communication flows. At the end of the day, you actually probably don't even need the website, right? You could probably do the drops on there too. So the website becomes more like a menu that they bring you to be like, oh, what do you want to buy today? What do you want to sell today? And that's it. But the community lives in the chats and lives in the channels. And that's what Nifty Gateway has, faults as well, but really done well at. It's just the Discord channel is great. And you look at other marketplaces, the channels are mostly just people discussing of how to get invited, how to get in, but there's no real two-way communication. There's no real community built then, and that's why Nifty Gateway, I think, has a huge advantage.
Yeah, and for all the shortcomings about Nifty Gateway, people can say this and that, but at the end of the day, they keep coming back day after day after day, and it's all because of the community. It's all because the storefront is popping. There's literally like 1,000 people lined up at the storefront trying to get in and just participate in the community.
It's like, growing up, I'm gonna date myself here, but after school on Fridays, you drive over to the mall. You just hang out there and you see who's wearing what and who's walking around with who and
who's buying which NFT. Like,
same thing, yeah. And then you talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Like you pop into Hot Topic, and so that's the same thing, but on the metaverse or the blockchain, whatever you want to call it.
A lot of people were talking about this. It was your tweet storm about essentially your kind of resignation of being a Discord moderator. Do you want to just explain to everyone what you meant by this tweet storm? And I'm going to link these tweets also in the description, guys, so you can click on those and read those as well.
Sure. So as a moderator, you get invited to be a volunteer kind of ambassador for the community who makes sure that the Discord channel stays clean and people stay on topic and then there's no issues and help out. So I jumped on the opportunity. I mean, I was 2 weeks into my journey and they reached out. They said, hey, listen, we like what you talk about. People like you. Do you want to be part of this? And I jumped in. However, last week, there's been a lot of communication issues, and I think we're all aware. And again, we said growing pains, fine, we put up with those. But the communication has broken down a little bit. So I took a stand, and I said, listen, I can't really help the community. I can't really be an ambassador if I'm in some shape or form kind of related to the channel. So I thanked them for the opportunity, and I decided to step out. And of course, I tweeted out that open letter to Nifty Gateway, the founders, and I was really heartened by the fact that they reached out immediately, and we had a really good conversation. And some of the changes that I proposed have already been, put in motion. So again, super bullish Nifty Gateway, because while their limited resources are super focused right now on getting the site right and making sure the right artists are coming on the platform, the community is finally being able to know what's happening behind the scenes and get those updates that we all want. So yeah, I think you give them a couple more days and things will be a lot better.
So now let's talk a little bit about just the NFT space in general and some things about art. So who are some of the up and coming artists that you'd like to highlight?
Sure. So again, for me, how artists relate to the community, how they participate, makes a huge difference. And so while the quality of the art is also important, having that connection, being there, makes a world of a change. So first and foremost, Ted's Little Dream. He's been an active member of
Super
the Discord.
active. He even commented on this YouTube channel. So Ted, if you're listening to this, which I know you are, thank you for that comment. It means a lot that an official NG artist is watching my YouTube channel.
Right. So Ted jumped in on the channel one day. It was like 2 a.m. here Eastern time again.
On the Discord channel.
Yeah. And you can't sleep, right? Because you missed something. So I was up, and out of nowhere, we came up with this auction mechanism for one of his pictures I had on Instagram, and we minted that. Somebody bought that, and the money is going to be put in a project that Ted has to help up and coming artists as well. And then the craziest thing happened: the Bassjackers jumped in as well, and they did a collaboration on a one-on-one piece, and there was also an auction for that, and that money is also going to go support some other projects that they have to help up and coming artists. So again, Ted, the Bassjackers, really important that they keep staying with the community, and I really like them both. The third person that I really think is, on the artistic side is Odious. I think his style has really evolved. He's obviously in the same kind of squad as Frewocious.
Mm-hmm.
And with Odious, I have 3 of his pieces. I think he's going a lot of places. He just put out a preview of his next drop on his Twitter. The art is mind-blowing. So yeah, he'll be like my third pick for up-and-coming artists.
And are you looking to make moves in any other areas? So for example, like Super Rare, Maker's Place, these kind of differ from Nifty Gateway in that these are more like limited. It's like 1 of 1s really, 1 of 5s, 1 of 10s. It's not really like a mass market. So Nifty Gateway, I'd say, is kind of like the broad appeal. You pay with, fiat. It's like anyone can just go on and buy whatever piece. But Super Rare and Maker's Place, you have to actually connect your MetaMask wallet, pay an ETH. It's very limited. There's only 1 of 1s. Are you buying on any of these places? Are you buying any projects on OpenSea?
Right. So, I've started kind of like nibbling on OpenSea and some of these projects like the crypto or pixel things.
Crypto wizards.
I got some wizards.
I like those. I like those.
I got some pixelated things that got revealed yesterday. I got some pickle things. I don't even know anymore.
There's so many.
So many of them. So my old moderator squad, they love those things. So I'm always just like, okay, I'm in for it. And they just send me an invoice, which is fun. But Maker's Place, I just made my first purchase. Nikki Danny is the artist. I really love her style. It's just, again, appealing to human nature. It's more on the lusty side. And so I really like that. And I bought one of her pieces. I'm going to continue to browse around and see what's out there.
888 has purchased pretty much every...
Yeah, well, 888 buys everything. He pretty much owns all the NFT market. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, it's important to look at the whales and see what they're doing, right? They're at the forefront of this movement, and they discover good new artists, and you'll have some support from that community. So of course, follow them. Same thing as with artists, follow them on Twitter. Some of them are very active. It's blockchain, so you can see what everybody does. I would also suggest that people, use them as a way to find other artists, and also just connect with artists from wherever you're from, whatever you like. There's so much good art out there to be discovered. So yeah, I agree with you. Some of these platforms really allow you to do that and maybe be really super early in finding the next Beeple or MDJ.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what do you see for the future of NFTs in the real world, kind of besides art and besides collectibles? Do you think that there's going to be use cases for NFTs in the real world, essentially?
Yeah, I think we're super early still. I mean, we're in the first inning of hyper-tokenization, in my opinion. Everything.
That's a good term.
Yeah, I love it. I dreamt about it. Probably somebody put it on Twitter and I'm stealing it. But yeah. Mine is tokenized tribalism. I'm definitely keeping that one. But yeah, hyper-tokenization, right? There's a gazillion things that you can sell a stake in. I mean, sports, everything from championship rings to season passes. And then you have movies where you can sell a scene kind of similar to what Top Shot's doing. Imagine owning iconic scenes from your favorite movie. That would just be mind-blowing. And then obviously there's commercial partnerships. I think a toilet paper company was doing something. Taco Bell was doing something. Appealing to human nature, which is wanting to be part of it, owning what you love. It has huge upside. So yeah, I think the NFT market is just going to continue to evolve and explode. But at the same token, I do think that artists such as MDJ will continue to be driving that innovation from the art space, hopefully into the rest of whatever becomes tokenized and nifty it. So yeah, keep an eye on artists like MDJ and their burn mechanics. Super creative guy, super creative what he did. I think some of his collectors have also been super creative with some of those one-on-one redemptions. So I would definitely keep an eye out for maybe some news on that. as things continue to evolve.
And I know you were talking about like the auctions and like the next Beeple. So Beeple was on Christie's,
right?
And then PAC is on Sotheby's. So who do you think, in your opinion, a little speculation here, who do you think has the opportunity to go, to the next auction house or to be on a Sotheby's or a Christie's?
So I think Mad Dog Jones for sure is up there. I think that's what you're seeing. Some big whales accumulate some of his pieces. PAC, Ferocious, Mad Dog Jones, Trevor Jones, and then like Slime Sunday, for example, who's really been his
what's it called? It was number one for like the longest time.
Right, The Last Stand of the Nation State.
Last Stand.
That is such a great piece. It's a piece that has 400 and something mints and traded for like 16K. It's back down to like 11, 12K. Again, it depicts Bitcoin versus fiat. I think it has a lot of memeability. It also has a lot of appeal. But he's got other great pieces as well, right? Like Mona Sativa, which I just picked up on Monday. I was super hyped to find it. And then he's also got some one-of-ones. He's got a one-of-one of Kanye that he sold to 888 on one of those other platforms. So yeah, that's Slime Sunday, somebody also to keep an eye on.
All right, man. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for coming on I was going to say podcast, but I guess it's just a YouTube interview, but hint, hint, we might, do a little more in the future, kind of podcast style. But yeah, thank you for coming on, bro. That was fucking amazing. I'm excited. Man. The space is actually crazy. I think as soon as I found out, I literally have been spending the past 50 days of my life just living, eating, breathing NFTs. Like you said, hyper-tokenization. I'm just thinking of all the possibilities of what can be tokenized. Something that's interesting that you said is, for example, of a music artist or a band or whatever, they have NFTs, and then the incentive is if you own that, then you go to one of their live concerts, then you can redeem it for a shirt or something because you purchased their NFT, and you have to hold it, in April or whatever. So then the show in May, you can come scan it or something like that. There's a lot of use cases I think for NFTs. So that's just, I'm really bullish NFTs. I mean, it's pretty foolish not to be bullish NFTs. It's definitely the future.
If you think of any future cash flow in the world, right? Even real estate and rents and stuff like that, you can NFT that. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the worlds really are oyster here, and I think everybody on Nifty Gateway right now is super early. It's a lot of opportunities. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the invite. I want to continue to be an ambassador for the NFT community. So people want to connect, please. I only have 500 Twitter followers.
Yeah. What's your Twitter? We'll put it down in the description.
At Sergito. It's, when I get those numbers up. But at the same time, I want to be a voice for collectors. There's some creators that have reached out. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're connected to a lot of artists. So
right. As a mod, they reached out and I've really built a relationship with them. So I appreciate that as well. It's been such a journey. I love it. I mean, I haven't slept more than 3 hours a night and it's killing me. I'm getting old. But yeah, thanks again for having me, man. This is great.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. Nice, bro. This is going to be sick.